The winners bracket final in the ESL Major League Playoffs. LDLC is going up against Gamers2, and both of these teams really impressed on the first play day. They have done an incredible job, and we're going into the first map now. We're going into Garden of Terror, and we're going to find out who's going to take the lead here. LDLC for Blackscorp, they got Zeratul, which is a great hero for him. And of course they also got a composition that suits Zeratul very, very well, with even Diablo in there for the Void Prism into Apocalypse. On the other hand though, Gamers2 of course, the Polish team, able to get a composition that is very powerful with Illidan and with a lot of support for the melee assassin. So the clash of the titans on map number 1 between Gamers2 and LDLC, and let's see who's gonna get out ahead and who will be able to take the first map in the best of 5 series.
First map, ladies and gentlemen, in the best of 5 series here at the ESL Major League Playoffs in the winner bracket final, where Gamers2 meets LDLC. Gamers2, after taking down Fnatic, is starting to the left side of the map in blue with Leo from Korea on Uther. We have Shaihu on ETC, ADRD on Tacita, Nika on Sergeant Hammer, and Yoa on Illidan. To the right side of the map, it's the Spaniards, the Spanish Inquisition with Polata on Malfurion, Falcon on Vala, Tidaka on Diablo, and Blackscorp on Zeratul as Kilachino plays Tyrande. Both teams with incredibly strong compositions here, an Illidan comp and a very strong Zeratul comp that works well with Void Prism into Apocalypse, with Roots on Malfurion, with Vala going for Reign of Vengeance later. So Bubble Burst comp against one of the most perfect Illidan comps that we've seen in some time, and Blackscorp playing Zeratul. This is going to be a great start into the best of 5 series. I'm Khaldor, with me is Calaris, and we're gonna bring you game number 1 here of the winner bracket final at the ESL Major League Playoffs.
Blackscorp already going for a blink reduction of cooldown there, so favouring some good mobility, always trying to get himself into the best spot possible, and at the same time, of course, going for the multi-shot build here on Valor. Why not? If you've got this kind of AoE potential in your army, in your arsenal, may as well make it all the more potent.
And we also see, again, Devil's Due taken up by LDLC in this case. Soul Feast was the talent of the last patch, but right now most of the teams going for a bit of a change there. So those builds really change over time, and Diablo is a great character to visualize that.
Yeah, definitely. Joey is actually having to play a little bit defensively here, knowing that the roaming squad of Darko and Kilachino is on hiatus and actually not showing. So Kilachino's going to show down here. He has to know Diablo is waiting in the wings. There's no way he's going to go further. Yeah,
I mean, you have to be careful with this one right now, and they know that especially at the beginning of the game, having Diablo there with a Tyrande is difficult to deal with. They saw that yesterday. Shaihu is trying to dodge them here, not able to make it happen, and yeah, he's just able to get barely away there. He was close to dying, but he just has too many hit points at the beginning of the match here.
And Mika doing alright up at the top, getting himself a little bit of damage done to this wall, but other than that, there is once again ADRD being pushed around there by T-Darker, but not too much going to happen to him.
Yeah, and now that the first knight has fallen already, we're seeing all of the heroes rotating towards the small seats, trying to get that lead. We have level 4 coming in for both of the teams very soon now, and that will of course give us the additional talents. Yova and Falcon at the bottom lane are still holding the line and keeping the heartbeat on the lane for the experience. We have most of those small camps already taken, and it's actually like LDLC that goes straight for one of the big garden terrors.
Yep, they are on with that pretty darn quickly, throwing down that healing ward just to give them a little bit more sustainability there. So Kilachino opting for that over the protective shield. There's not really too much synergy for that protective shield to do too much. Obviously Zeratul's just going to be diving in and out anyway and trying to avoid the damage rather than soaking it up.
And we have, again, mental acuity taken on the side of Tacita. So really that change that Blizzard introduced in this patch with healing wards, now doing only 2% of heal instead of the 3% that we had before, forcing, or like at least like giving the teams an incentive to change the build around. We've seen both. We've seen healing ward on level 4 and this one, and Blackscorp actually with the first blood here in the game. Our master Zeratul player dies not so masterful after all.
Yeah, and it's Caster's curse, man. Look what we said at the beginning. Imagine if he just ruined it, but he will play better. Like, he will continue to do pretty well in this game. We can guarantee you that. It's only just started, as Nika still doing quite a bit of damage up here. Leo and Nika have done all right up at top lane.
Oh yeah, and yeah, you're right. I think I jinxed it a bit, but let's see if we can pull through here. I mean, Black Scorp is already out of for revenge again. Moves in and hits the singularity spike, and wow, Polato with the perfect roots, but they can't really use that to take down on that. Leo, by the way, trying to take that tower down, but he just missed barely. The range was not enough, and they are still waiting with Polato and Tidaka going for potential kill. Oh, they know that you always try and get those siege giants, and Black Scorp was moving over there, but oh, what exactly is Uther doing? Leo is body blocked suddenly, but the rest of the team is rotating, and great rotation by Gamers2.
Paleto, actually, oh, that push from Nika might have saved Paleto there, but they managed to pick him up anyway, as he will end up falling down. D-Darker also taking quite a lot of damage. There's no way he's going to be able to get out. A 2-kill advantage there for Gamers2 get picked up.
Very, very good rotation from Gamers2, the Polish team with the perfect read on the map, and they now push in at the top lane. They took 3 kills already, and with a 3-kill lead, an entire level on their table now for that. I mean, they got the talent a bit faster, they have level 8 faster, they will probably get the heroic ability as well, just a bit before LDLC does, and with that they might be able to push one of those forts down.
Yeah, they may do. Nika obviously actually jumping out just at the right time, making sure that Lunar Flare is not going to be able to hit him. Here comes the easy camp up to the top as Illidan does what he does best here around this level. And Paleto just pushing back Shaihu for now in the middle, not really doing too much. So it's going to be hard camp here by the looks of things for Black Scorp and the LDLC boys.
Yeah, and at the same time another siege giant camp is taken down to the bottom left, so the teams are really starting to rotate through the mercenary camps, trying to apply additional pressure on the lanes. In terms of builds, we're having for ETC Echo Paddle and Guitar Hero. We saw a few variations of that build earlier on today in our first Best of 5 series, but here it's more the traditional style that we see. It's also once again important to note that with the Illidan comp that is being run by Gamers2, they decided to not use Rhaegar. They had the opportunity to go for Rhaegar, but they said no, we want to use Uther instead. We're going for Cleanse, we're going for Protective Shield, and the potential Divine Shield on level 10 that is a lot more popular these days.
Yeah, we'll soon see very quickly if that's going to come in. Hopefully it will do, and then Illidan is going to be once again a beast at the front, and there we go. That does get talented in. So at the same time, obviously, Metamorphosis, Napalm Strike get picked up, and no doubt we're going to see Archon and Stage Dive get picked up there as well. So they come in for the level 10 talents of Gamers2.
Gamers2 is one of the few teams that experimented with Force Wall, and they gave that a shot several times. I've even seen them use it in a competitive game in the last patch, and now it got changed a bit, so we might actually see that at some point from them. But of course the safe talent is Archon, which is just great in this composition as well, because you kind of rely on that extra damage too. So Black Scorp and the LDLC team are trying to now get additional seeds. Both of the teams have a plan growing for them, but 4 of them trying to capture this one out, and the rotation from Gamers2 again, very well done, jumping in with Shaihu on ETC, trying to isolate one of the heroes, but already the Void Prism dropped, and here comes that comp with Apocalypse.
Oh, there's the Starfall as well, trying to do big damage to them as quickly as possible. T-Darker is not going to be able to survive, though, whilst the counter for that engagement does come into fruition, and that root saving them from Metamorphosis chasing down just barely.
Yeah, that bubble burst did not really happen yet. We also didn't really see Vala moving in, and it's interesting that Vala went for Strafe over Rain of Vengeance, considering that this is a comp where you rely a lot on the Void Prism for the setup, and you try to use roots and Apocalypse to lock targets down, and then especially of course also with the additional Starfall that can be placed over the Void Prism. I would have expected Rain of Vengeance, but it is the extra damage on Strafe that they are trying to rely upon, and yeah, it's an interesting one.
I don't want to call it being greedy, but it's in that similar vein to they just want to try and blow people up in that AoE situation, which is cool, don't get me wrong. But now Black Scorp's Garden Terror has traded places with the neutral Garden Terror, and is just going to pick up a few more seeds from that. And it's just Garden Terror on Garden Terror action for now. Joe is getting the better end of the stick, though, as Black Scorp's going to have to get out of there.
Yeah, Black Scorp moving back already, and of course now it's starting the pressure at the bot lane against that fort that we're seeing for LDLC. And so far LDLC, they haven't gotten a kill yet. It's 4 kills against 0. We are 8 minutes in, and Black Scorp lost a lot of hit points on his own Garden Terror already. Shaiku needs to be careful, moves back here, but the problem for them really is that Nika, especially with that napalm, can always start to do damage against the structures and use that over and over again. And Black Scorp will drop out of that plant very, very soon.
He is here looking to even zone out there, just on the side of the fort, so that people have a hard time of actually walking through. But the Garden Terror is now gone here for LDLC. Zhao is still doing quite a bit of work. He had to pop out of it in the end, though, and almost got rooted during all of that.
They kill the fort, and that means level 13 is available to Gamers2, the Polish team with great moves here. Taking that spell shield on Uther to give him even more sustainability. And here they come again, taking that siege giant camp, not leaving that up for LDLC to take it. So very well done. They take all the opportunities that they can get to secure themselves an advantage, and they do very well with that.
Yeah, very well. And it always seems like whenever I see Gamers2 play against LDLC, they really stepped up their game, like full throttle whenever they do. So I'm expecting nothing less than absolutely blistering games here from Gamers2 against LDLC. And already they're bringing the fight to them. Another fort will fall, and so far their structures are yet to be scratched too much on the other side.
Yeah, they make sure that they really put the pressure on, and they have the timing window with the additional talent, and they want to use it. Oftentimes you see that teams can't really do anything with that and are not willing to take that risk, but in this case they are definitely trying to abuse it as much as they can, and they just take camp after camp after camp, take those away from their opponent, and the whole momentum is just shifting in their favor. It's incredible to see how much they can do with this.
And if Diablo actually steps astray, the double giant killer on the other side here for Gamers2 is going to rip him apart. Yeah, T-Darker, actually, it's weird to say that a warrior has to be careful, but he kind of does with how much power there is behind the hammer and the Illidan there, especially with the talent advantage. And Spell Shield was picked up for Uther, so he's feeling a little bit wary as to whether or not he's going to get hit by some big spells here early on.
Yeah, and on level 16 we could see him go for Relentless, but Benediction is a talent that is chosen so often when you go with Illidan in your composition, and it just keeps everybody alive. That really matters. If you can keep Illidan alive, then you're going to be in an absolutely amazing position, and that's of course what the idea behind this comp is in the first place. 13 talents are now finally available for the Spanish team, and they have Wormhole and Tassadar that gives Black Scorp a lot more mobility in those fights. We also see Sprint chosen for Tyrande to give her a chance to reposition herself, especially of course since she's one of the main targets for Illidan.
And from the shadows being picked up here by T-Darker, so a bit more of an aggressive stance. Shaihu was actually caught there in the bushes there for a second, but that... Okay, there could be a lot of potential damage, but the Apocalypse wasn't timed just right. He was actually in the Void Prism as well, so he couldn't really get it down in the proper time. Yeah,
T-Darker is nearly dying there, and that was definitely an example of how he should not run that composition. That Apocalypse didn't really hit anything, and the big problem was that Vala already used the Strafe roughly at the same time that Black Scorp used his Void Prism, meaning that all the heroes that went into the Void Prism didn't get any damage whatsoever.
Yeah, there's a little bit of miscommunication there, I guess, for LDLC. Gamers2 is more than happy to capitalize off it, though, as Black Scorp enters the fray and takes quite a bit of damage. T-Darker is back, though, now with his regen, or with his respawn, actually, ability with that, and will actually kill off Zeratul behind all of this. Oh, Tassadar behind all this.
Tassadar fell, we had Vala and Malfurion die as well, and also, of course, our Sergeant Hammer is dead, so it's a trade 2 for 2. Actually, if you count that kill against Diablo, then it's a 2 for 3 in favor of the Polish team. Great match, though. I mean, like, well, great match in the sense that we have very exciting battles here. For LDLC, I feel they kind of missed an opportunity in that last fight when the ultimates that they had didn't really synergize all the well, especially the Strafe that was used during the time when Void Prism was up was not all that amazing. That took a lot of the damage from the composition away. I feel this would have been a prime example for what you can do with the Rain of Vengeance, since there were 4 heroes in the Void Prism.
ADRD straight sprints to bottom and then decides to reroute himself just a little bit. I think they realize that this Garden Terror may be being contested up to the top, so want to try and deal with it, maybe cause a few problems here for LDLC, but they're not going to be there in time. Shaihu goes in very aggressively, didn't even have vision on this location, just goes straight in and tries to pursue on back. Here comes Xiaowei as well with the Metamorphosis.
Yeah, Illidan goes straight in, and he wants to show Blackscorp who's boss here. Zeratul versus Illidan, and so far Illidan is winning this fight easily. Going straight for another fort, and the 16 talents are of course giving him them the edge that they need.
Well, the siege mode gets picked up here by Sergeant Hammer, which again, if they're able to get themselves in an aggressive stance, which they could at the moment with this Garden Terror and a second one after it, they could easily do something, but they need to deal with Blackscorp first on his Garden Terror in the mid.
Yeah, and it's going to last a bit longer. They have an extra 40 seconds on that if it is not focused down. Right now Gamers2 moving back, they still have the extra talent, they have a 2-level lead that gives them a stat advantage as well. Illidan of course, especially with his Blood for Blood, is going to have a good time here. And on Sergeant Hammer with a hover siege mode, that's always a threat. ADRD is actually getting extremely low. They're trying to push in as much as they can before the Garden Terror disappears.
Yeah, I think the term for that is chunked. His health plummeted pretty quickly there, so he's got to be careful about that, but as I said, with another Garden Terror available to them, I don't think he's playing this as cautiously as he may once need to. Blackscorp is still at full health, looking to apply some pressure now as ADRD is going to pop out on that first one.
That plan into plant is always the biggest problem that you can run into as a team playing on Garden Terror. So right now this is definitely an issue, but for a few seconds at least Blackscorp will be able to push here without having any counter plan against him. And he's trying to utilize the seed. Oh, the stun of Tyrande just not getting through there. They're doing really well with this pressure. They picked up the 16 talent, and we're having now hard and focused imposing presence on Diablo, who really needs it to stay alive here as well. Moves back. There is the healing ward that he can utilize. Starfall being used to, but they can't lock anybody down in the Starfall. So it's basically a waste, and it can just be used as a positional tool to move the opponent back.
Ooh, ADRD with that shift straight on out of there with Dimensional Warp, giving him that extra speed to get himself in a better position. And here comes the stage dive. Archon's been popped, but there goes the Void Prism to try and lock them down. It's just used as they disengage. They don't have any more ults to really put down on the field.
That was actually a real fun one. Think about that from the perspective of ETC for a second. Jumping in that far out, he's like, let's go, boys! And then he's like, boys? Boys?
Where are you?
And everybody else caught with that Void Prism. Poor ETC. Didn't die though, was able to move back, but I think he's a bit disappointed.
Yeah, he really wanted to rock there. Unfortunately, didn't really have his groupies there for him. And now T-Darker just going to try and contest this little easy camp down to the bottom. At least Gamers2, though, stealing camps left and right again. They're actually just going to go to their own camps, though. Don't really want to rival hard camp when it's 5v5 on the board.
The thing is that now that we're having the 16 talents on the screen for LDLC as well, the double bombs on Zeratul, even though they got nerfed, are still very strong. So maybe it's really now starting to become its time to shine, because so far Illidan just got the better end of that melee assassin battle, and Blackscorp might have a chance to do something here. Good jump, good jump. Was trying to go for the seeds, but saw then that the entire team was just present, and of course they realized he was there as well, so he just used Blink to get away.
Yeah, good eyes by Gamer2, good eyes. It's actually, it's funny because transitioning from StarCraft to this, as soon as I was seeing Cloaked is so easy when you've had so much practice against like Banshees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's really nice actually. It's very, very easy to see the Cloaked units here.
Yeah, all that observer training, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hunting observers all day long. Damn Protoss, finally good for something. Well, bot lane is where we have now the attempt to get a plant as well with those seeds, but the rotation is already happening, and just Gamers2 has done such an incredible job in this entire game controlling the objectives on the map, and they're trying to do the exact same thing again. ADRD is already in the middle of things, quite literally, as Illidan is jumping in and applies pressure to Killerchino, and there's nobody to help Killerchino out with this. He is definitely going to die.
Yeah, he did actually an alright job to keep himself alive for that long, but at the same time T-Darker gets hit there by the seed and will be slowed down quite considerably. The chase is going to continue on. They're trying to land another seed, but uh-oh. Well, yeah, there's not much you can follow up from that. It was trying to save T-Darker, but in the end he is just going to get blown up.
Yep. Diablo down for 4 seconds, but just think about what he could do with such a great Void Prism. I mean, great in the sense that he trapped a lot of Heroes of Gamers2. Unfortunately, he trapped Diablo as well, so he couldn't escape. But Evala with Rain of Vengeance right in this position, could have done a lot of damage.
You're right, that's been the story of those Void Prisms at the moment. Whenever they've got a really sick one, Diablo's been in it as well. So Apocalypse has not really had the opportunity to time out just as they would like it.
You know, you called it greedy earlier, going for Strafe instead of Rain of Vengeance, and I think this is pretty much telling the story. If they get the perfect Strafe off, of course it's going to be incredible because they can do so much damage. But the safer option, going Rain of Vengeance and trying to get that team stun in, that would have been something that they could have needed in like at least 3 of those fights already.
Well, this stun might catch... No, Blazer's going to move out of it as well there, and they're able to pick up a lot of seeds. Both teams now have that, though. The Apocalypse goes down, doesn't really hit anything, though, as Kilachino is going to have to sprint on out of there and get away from Shaihu, and T-Darker is going to fall again, and he doesn't have the souls available to him for the res. 60 seconds on that to finish up.
Level 20, we have Redemption, Hardened Shield, the Twilight Archer, Nexus Frenzy, and Demonic Form taken on the side of Gamers2, and they play incredible. And as well as LDLC played yesterday against SK Gaming, I have to say that right now their coordination is not really on the same level. Diablo using his heroic ability there, of course it's still something that can do a lot of damage, and you can always put the opponent in a position where they suddenly have to reposition themselves to dodge the stun, which is a great move in itself, but you want to have that composition between Void Prism and Apocalypse if you go for this team comp, and they never really got a proper one off. I think at the beginning they had one that did a bit of damage, but after that, not a single combination really worked out for them, and that is the problem. And this is exactly why Gamers2 might have an edge up in this entire series, since they just have so much practice that they know each other's timings in and out.
I'm really happy to see Hammer actually getting some play as well here in the playoffs. It's rare that we're actually getting to see her, but she's still able to do huge amounts of work. Highest siege damage, highest hero damage on the side here of Gamers2. Nico playing it very, very well. Very few deaths on their side as a whole. Another keep is going to fall here, and that brings LDLC down to a very precarious situation.
Gamers2 just had a very solid performance in this game so far. The Polish team is going for it. Napirdalai trying to take it down here, and this could be the end of things. Blackscope, of course, is trying with his own plan to defend as much as he can. Might have a shot of holding for a bit longer so that it can get level 20, and maybe LDLC with that is going to be able to turn things around, but so far things have not been looking good for them. 10 kills against 2 tell the story. T-Darker is extremely low. Shaihu jumping in, they're going for Diablo, and he uses Apocalypse, but he dies regardless and is down for another minute.
Yeah, and it really didn't get a whole lot done at all. Black Scorp's Garden Terror is going to fall pretty quickly as well here. ADRD is now out of that Garden Terror, but Black Scorp could get himself caught in a really odd spot. Level 20s come in actually here for LDLC, but if they lose their heroes before anything of that goes down, Black Scorp just manages to barely get out there.
Falcon using the Bolt of the Storm to escape in the last second. Good Void Prism this time, capturing 2 and also blocking the core off. They might get the kill here, but they could still lose. The core is down to 30%, and that's just a right click from Gamers2, all that they needed here. ETC jumping in, and this first game is over. We have the lead for the Polish team against the Spaniards, the 1-0 for Gamers2 in the best of 5 series.
Gamers2 take map number 1. They did an incredible job there, and Blackstorp never was able to just like unleash that power that is Zeratul. Now suddenly we're going in map number 2, and we're gonna find out who's gonna take it here. At this point we're having LDLC with a really interesting lineup, going for a lot of lockdown and using Kerrigan for their composition as well. So suddenly a full CC comp on LDLC, and on the other hand here in Dragonshire now Gamers2 of course try to get the 2-0 lead in the series. If they accomplish that, they have a very, very good chance of taking down LDLC completely, and we're gonna find out who's gonna take it there. Will LDLC be able to equalize the score, to tie the series up? We're gonna find out right now on Dragonshire.
Game number 2 on Dragonshire, ladies and gentlemen. We have Gamers2 going up against LDLC, and so far the Polish team is in a 1-0 lead in this best-of-5 series at the ESL Major League Playoffs. To the left side, we have Leo from Poland starting on Rega, Shaihu on Chen, ADRD on Taranda, Nika on Jaina, and Yoa on ETC. Whereas to the right side of the map, it is the Spanish team with Polato on Uther, Kilachino on Tacita, Blackscorp on Carrigan, Tidaka on Muradin in this game, and Falcon playing a Vala. So the Spaniards, they need a victory, and here of course on Dragonshire this could be the place where they make their stand and say like, alright, let's tie this series up. Or is it going to be the Polish team who's going to be able to take another victory and then suddenly being just one map win away from taking it and advancing and or winning the winner bracket final here at the Major League Playoffs?
Wiggling their way around up to this top bush here are LDLC, maybe looking to get the jump on them. The Owl did not spot anybody down to the bottom, but that one certainly spots them, and they are totally revealed and cannot jump on anyone at the moment.
Yeah, and right now we have all of them just rotating towards the lanes. Of course, you need to keep that heartbeat up if you want to get the experience. And, well, both of them had the exact same idea. In regards to talents, pretty normal choices there. For Tacita, we have Overload taken. It's actually interesting to see this talent in particular. Usually we see most of them going straight into Conjurer's Pursuit or trying to get the additional mana with a Storm. But in this case, it's the range that they aim for. So a bit of a deviation here from Tacita on the side of the Spanish team.
Yeah, looking alright with that. And obviously, with Sweeping Grasp there for Carrigan. Not exactly we see her too commonly, but just going to briefly glance over her. Perfect Storm is in the mix here for Muradin, which I'm loving in this match. You know, there's not too much melee presence that he's going to be able to really get done with Reverberation, like we were mentioning in a previous series there, which, you know, probably could have done quite a bit. But for now, T-Darker just going for Stormbolt hype.
Yeah, Stormbolt is there. He's going to try to farm his Q as much as he can. I actually love that. Not only with Muradin, but also when you play as Muradin to just farm the damage for your Q for both of these heroes. It's like a bit of a mini-game within Heroes of the Storm, and you're always so proud when you get like a lot of damage with that. And can, in the case of Muradin, then later do like more than 1,500 damage or whatnot against structures. That's always fun. But in this case, of course, this is not what the teams are really worried about. It's more about trying to win this and turn things around. And Tidaka actually could be our first victim in this game. Yova is moving in, but he's just barely getting out of there, and Nika is the first blood here as he just overextended, and Falcon could even get that Dragonite. Yep, and it's going to be hard for them to actually deny that from ever going on, as ADRD unfortunately overextends and gets absolutely obliterated down by the presence here of Blackscorp and thingy, and douchebag Dragonite kicks away the perfect target that Blackscorp had in his primal grasp. Oh my god, that bad mana right there, and Blackscorp was like, what the hell, dude, I had that. And he's gonna have to run away for now because he is very, very low, so not much more he can do there, can Blackscorp. Poor guy, poor guy. This is always so frustrating. If you have one of those skill shots and you just get it in and suddenly the Dragonite moves in and kicks the target away. Have you seen this video where the Dragonite kicked away, it was funny as hell, it was on Reddit at some point, it was a couple of months ago. The Dragonite kicked away Nova, and Nova landed on Abathur. Oh really? No, yes. I didn't see that. Oh my god. Nova landed on Abathur. Abathur was sitting outside, it was I think on... I don't know which map it was, but it was at the side of a bridge, and Nova was just like flying in there, and Abathur was just looking at it, was like, what the fuck? Tried to run away, but of course got killed in a second. It was ridiculous. Oh, poor Abathur. Those things that sometimes happen in Heroes of the Storm, they are amazing. I love stuff like that. Yeah, it's a pretty dynamic game, and all those dynamics come to a head when things like that happen. There's some crazy gifs actually appearing on Reddit nowadays. There's some really crazy stuff. The Haymaker one recently, where I think it was called Alley Oop, was brilliant from Muradin. Yeah. Rare you see Haymaker, but when you do see some cool moves like that, it's pretty funny. Yeah. At this point we have LDLC trying to steal one of the camps away. They start to take an advantage here, and the early game can really be described as them trying to utilize that CC comp that they have here. This is the big advantage that they have over the composition that Gamers2 is running with, that they have a CC chain that they can use to lock heroes down, and we've seen that several times now with Muradin, Carrigan, and also Uther trying to get those stun locks into the game, and that is also the main reason why we have 2 kills already on the side of the Spanish team. But at this point, with a one level lead. LDLC has a great position, but Gamers2, I want to say they stabilized a bit.
Yeah. The Gamers2 will just have that little defensive posture in these lanes and then be okay. Kilachino going to take a bit of fire breath there from Chen up to the top, but this easy camp is going to push quite hard here. Actually also getting that little bit of a combo onto ADRD. Will lock him down for a second, but can't really follow that up with much because he is behind the wall.
At this map we are currently seeing Brewmaster's Balance. We're having Earth Shield taken, Icelands, and Icelands is actually something that I didn't really expect because Frostbitten is usually the standard talent that we see from Jaina.
Yeah. Arcane Intellect as well. I was expecting, I mean, the normal that we see at the moment is Envenom, but it's a little bit of an interesting deviation there. So they're looking to play this a bit slower, it looks like, from Gamers2.
You know, I also just realized how much of a genius I actually am when I said earlier that the Dragon Knight kicked Nova away, and then I wasn't really sure about the map which it was played on with the Dragon Knight, like, duh. I blame it on a lack of coffee that I had there. Oh, Shai, who actually at the top lane gets completely jumped on by 4 heroes, and of course has no chance all alone to get away there. That's a sad panda.
Yeah, Black Scorp and the gang are doing this well, gotta say, and now they're trying to rival the Dragon Knight, but at the same time, with this many bodies present in the bottom lane, they should be able to deny this quite happily.
Yeah, they deny it, but level 10 is now on the board for LDLC, and that could actually be something that allows them to get a Dragon Knight after all. We have a rotation to the bot lane, trying to get that camp here, but as you can see, it is again Divine Shield picked up by Uther. So Kerrigan is going to be extremely happy jumping in and going full ham on the opponent's team because he always knows that there is a Divine Shield just waiting to be dropped. And we have that stun comp now with Rain of Vengeance being used in this game. Something that they did not use in the last one, and apparently they learned the lesson here. So far a much better game from LDLC.
Oh yeah, Falcon is just going to pick up that Dragon Knight and go straight to mid lane once again, trying to get to as much damage done as possible very fast, sticking around in that mid lane, trying to get something done. He doesn't really have the full support of his team, but the entire rest of his team is heading up top for the most part, and looking to put on pressure with that hard camp.
And I have to say that at this point LDLC is really showing their strength. In the last game, after the last game I really doubted them, but now with that CC chain that they are using the lineup that they control perfectly. Getting those stun locks in over and over again, getting their kills, the damage with Falcon at the bot lane. They have more than a level advantage over their opponents right now, and the rotations that they are showing are amazing.
Yep, the Dragon Knight's just working away at this, down at the bottom, and Nick trying to push this off here, but at the same time, it's not really working out too great. Falcon is able to push Joey away, and they will be able to get this fort eventually.
Yeah, they will definitely get it, and especially T-Darker can of course supply the extra damage against siege structures with his full Stormbolt build that he uses here. Yeah, now that the level 10 talents are there, I feel that Gamers2 really has to show that with a good Mosh Pit they are able to take this down. It's actually interesting to see Mosh Pit in this case because there is so much that can interrupt the channeling movement.
Yeah, they're going to have to land a really good one. Maybe Wandering Keg can push them all together in a perfect dream world, but that's going to be difficult. You just really want to push people away for the most part. Wandering Keg has actually popped instantly to get on out of there. Does not want any part of that with Black Scorp almost getting him with Primal Grasp.
Yeah, that was a close one, and it is again this rotation that we see from LDLC. So the last game, definitely not their best, but this game is so much better for the Spanish team now. And, well, they haven't won it yet, but they once again take a lead in talents. They have level 13 talent and jump in to take Nika down. And nice dodge on those stuns, but the problem is he had to move into 3 heroes and is going down. Nice Mosh Pit, but as you can see, there is so much stun on the side of LDLC that they have no trouble stunning Yoba out, who gets hit by an Ancestral Healing, but he might still die.
Oh, nice slide out there, though, for him. You're right, though. The Rain of Vengeance was perfect just to interrupt that. It could have gone really down the pan, but as you said, Valor was just there right in the nick of time, able to deal with that, and really didn't cause too much problems. With Jaina down for quite a prolonged period here, and LDLC just have full control of their side of the map at the moment.
Double strike taken on Kerrigan on level 13. Not a talent that we see all that often. Also on Muradin we have Spell Shield taken, and Spell Shield is very, very useful against Jaina. We've been talking about this a lot. Jaina, of course, with that burst damage and thanks to her abilities, forcing a lot of heroes to go into Spell Shield. The usual talent on level 13 for Muradin these days is Thunderstrike, which does extra damage against single targets that you hit with your clap, but Spell Shield keeps him alive a bit longer, and since he is the single tank in the lineup, makes a lot of sense to try and make him even more sustainable.
T-Darker will claim bottom shrine, with Shaihu claiming the top one, and then it'll instantly be pushed off it by Falcon and Kilachino looking to get the wraparound on him potentially. But at least he has Wandering Keg in case he gets himself in a really desperate situation. Doesn't really want to be popping it too soon, but then no way going to be able to deal with Black Scorp there. That zoning out potential from Falcon, T-Darker and Paletor was way too much.
An easy third Dragon Knight for Team LDLC, and they are going straight into the middle again. They still have that level lead over Gamers2, and right now the Spaniards doing extremely well here. Taking down the fort in the mid lane. Up at the top we have Kilachino moving in. The Distortion Beam on level 13 was his talent of choice, and Black Scorp on the Dragon Knight is moving into the mid lane now to take down another wall, and they are actually starting to close in on level 16. They already have a 2-level advantage over their opponent. It's not only their talent at this point anymore, it's the stat advantage that they have that is getting scary.
Yeah, it is. And do they have enough sustain to be able to outlast that? Black Scorp actually throws down a bit of fire on top of 4 members there of Gamers2 as he's going to try and just move out here. Once they get level 16, this is going to be deadly, but Zhao is going to get pushed the completely wrong way. There's potential that could actually do a lot of damage to him, getting caught on the wrong side of the Dragon Knight, and he takes half health already with the Ancestral Healing already coming in.
Yeah, and we also have Starfall used, but Yoba is moving in, and he gets the nice mosh pit, I want to say, in, but the problem again, too much stun on LDLC, and that mosh pit lasted maybe a second if so, but Black Scorp goes down. Too much burst on Nika, has to use his own talents to keep him alive right now. Oh, ETC dying as well. The ice block on Jaina keeping at least her alive for a few more seconds, but she is going to die anyways, at least if T-Darker has his will, and yes, he gets the kill against her.
Beautiful by Paletor, actually instantly skilling Benediction, throwing down double Holy Lights on his team there to keep them alive and keep them sustained during that chase. So very, very good choices by him, quick reactions. And now Black Scorp and the gang, as I say here on LDLC's side, well, Black Scorp's kind of dead, unfortunately, but the gang will try and go and steal hard camp, or maybe even just look for a kill on ADRD, actually.
Yeah, they can jump him quite easily. There are 4 heroes there, and just look at that stun and that burst. This is way too much for him to deal with, and of course they're going to get the kill against the fort now too.
Yeah, Hardcam going to try and take him forward. Gamers2 down towards the bottom, so trying to pressure on down that way, because at the moment they don't have any fort kills to their name. They've killed off the wall down to the bottom and the top, but mid is very, very healthy still, and that gives them a great staging point to continue trying to rival Dragon Knight whenever it's being taken or they're trying to take it.
So far, this game is just a complete reckoning, and I don't know what they can do, to be honest. They are just trying to play a catch-up game, and it's very difficult for them to make that happen. They need an entire level until they have the 16 talents. Up to this point, they don't want to fight. They're losing camps everywhere. They're trying, of course, to apply some pressure with those mercenaries that they've taken at the bot lane, but we have 2 heroes taking care of that already. And once 20 hits, LDLC is going to start to be super aggressive, and with the shrines coming up in 10 seconds, how big are the chances of Gamers2 to actually defend that Dragon Knight?
It's looking bleak at the moment, that's for sure. The shrines are now up. Tassadar's going to take the bottom one, and then they'll just rotate on straight on up. And they could even catch them in a team fight situation here, unless they back off this shrine, because they still don't have the level 16 talents. They should come in very soon, and then now they do. So that's going to help them a little bit here.
Yeah, it's going to help them a bit at least. Northern Exposure taken, Pressure Point, Earthgrasp Totem over potential Blood for Blood on Rhaegar. But this is going to be another fight where we have a stat advantage for LDLC. They're 2 levels ahead of their opponents. Heroic abilities are all up, and we're going to see that battle just unfold in front of us in just a second as LDLC is attempting to grab the second shrine.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time even splitting someone off to then try and go for the shrine down to the bottom to deny that, so it's all going to be about this one up at the top, as Gamers2 actually pushed them off that one to continue rivaling that. But now Shaihu and Joey are in a bit of an odd spot, very, very far into enemy territory, and here it goes.
Yeah, the tanks are jumping in immediately. ETC so far with no mosh pit attempt. Maelstrom on Kerrigan. Ancestral Healing keeping ETC alive as Hidaka uses his avatar. We have Shaihu just trying to barrel everybody, and the Rain of Vengeance this time not doing so much. We still have mosh pit available, and ETC is looking for one, and there it is. He gets it in, and this time it's much better than before.
Not really being interrupted for a long time there, but he's going to go down anyway as the focus target, and he was not able to do anything during that, not putting out any damage himself, not trying to evade any attacks. He will fall. Nika uses his improved ice block to try and keep him alive, but Shen is going to fall in the back lines as well there. So a 3-for-0 trade, 4-for-0, LDLC in game number 2, really bringing the fight to Gamers2.
Yeah, Gamers2 is getting wrecked, and now Blackscope is going to go for another Dragon Knight. They have level 19, 3 levels ahead of the Polish team, and this is bad news. This is at least going to be 1 keep, if not more, and yeah, 20 is also going to hit, so I don't think that Gamers2 can recover from this one. The only thing that they can do is play as passive as possible, wait for the next Dragon Knight, somehow defend against that, but they might actually die right here, because Blackscope is doing so much damage already with the DK. They will get level 20 once the keep falls, and even with a 5 versus 5 situation, if they get another kill or 2, they're just gonna go for the core.
And T-Darker's here with his sledgehammers, adding up those red numbers very, very quickly on these structures if he's able to land them on them, and not actually have to prioritize these heroes that are now in the fight. But they're going to back off for now. They still have this Dragon Knight. They can just rotate around, bring down walls, and make it a little bit harder in each of these lanes.
Yeah, they can simply go for another keep here, like, super easily. 2 Bolts of the Storm to keep Kerrigan and Vala alive. The Rewind on Muradin, and we're having Twilight Archon and Redemption on Tacita and Uthan. They are moving in again, and now we see those heroic abilities coming into play once more. And there comes the jump Blackscope when he drops out of the Dragon Knights. Kerrigan can go for her stun comp. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Needs the heal though, and the shield, and there it is, even using the blink. But here comes the Rain of Vengeance already. T-Darker going for the avatar, trying to jump. Nika, improved ice block is coming into play, but I don't think that Jaina is going to survive. No, not even with the ancestral healing attempt.
No, not able to land at all. Shaihu's going to go very, very low. Ancestral Healing comes off cooldown just barely whilst that's all going on, but cannot even get an opportunity to cast it during all of that. There was a great double jump there from T-Darker to get himself in a great position with the rewind during that fight. But now, with the 2-for-1 trade there, with Kerrigan already being low during that fight anyway, it was a nice move here by LDLC to continue applying pressure and getting another keep.
Yeah, Kerrigan being the sacrificial lamb in this situation, and of course, with those 4 heroes on the map, they don't really want to risk going for the core with a lot of defenders still being alive. They know that they have a massive advantage over Gamers2, and they can wait for the next Dragon Knight. They know there is no way for Gamers2 to get level 20 in time to defend the next Dragon Knight, so they can just wait for that and try to core with it. They already dropped 2 of the keeps. They didn't even lose a fort yet. Still, 17 minutes in, not a single one of these important structures has fallen on the side of LDLC.
Yeah, you're so right. And the bottom one is very low, but they haven't had any room at all to get over to the other side and even do any damage. They've constantly been under pressure. LDLC has ran this game from start to finish. Owl's going to be sent out and maybe caught the glimpse of these couple getting the easy camp, but there's nothing that they can do about that at this point. They're just going to take their own and retreat on back and try and clear lanes once again.
An impressive 44,000 hero damage on Tacita, by the way, playing this really, really well, not only with the Storm, but of course, especially with the Archon. And Twilight Archon can do so much damage here. For Vala, we have 48,000, and this is just these stun comms, the CC alone that we have on the side of LDLC is giving, it's a headache situation for Gamers2 really, and they are only on level 19, the shrines are already active. This is exactly what I've been talking about earlier. How can Gamers2 defend without the level 20 talent against this attempt from LDLC to get another Dragon Knight and finish the game?
It's funny because in the team fights, unless they've ended up going into these fights where somebody is very low to begin with anyway, i.e. Kerrigan, they don't really ever have the damage to be able to do anything. Zhao's gone in very, very deep here. There goes the Starfall as well as the Rain of Vengeance to try and keep things going. Nick is going to be saved by the Ancestral Healing, but Leo from Korea is taking massive damage.
Leo is just barely keeping himself alive. I have no idea how he did that, but they are so low, all of them, and they're already losing Chen, and with one of the tanks down, they're just running away away right now. They took a beating in the last fight. Falcon uses his Bolt of the Storm, aggressively jumps in. Leo is stunned, Leo is dead, and so is Jaina. And this is bad, bad news. The Dragonite is there, 3 heroes down, the GG already called, and this is only a matter of time. Black Scorp will move in with a right click on the core and end this game.
Yeah, very rare that a team like LDLC is ever going to give up a lead when they're able to establish it as well as they did do in game number 2 here. Mosh pit from Joey, because why on earth not? And Dark. Black Scorpion's going to dance there for them as well.
Yeah, but this game is over. It is the tie in the series. It is a 1-1. Game number 2 ending in favor of LDLC against Gamers2 here at the ESL Master Playoffs. And Major League Playoffs, I want to say. And yeah, let's head into game number 3 and see who's going to take the lead and maybe even the better position into the best of 5.
Oh boy, this series is starting off really nicely. A 1-1 situation, LDLC able to win it here, and now we're going into the 3rd map. And the comps just get even more crazy from here on out. Suddenly we have Abathur in the game. We have a composition for Gamers2 that runs with Zeratul and also Abathur. So 2 heroes that have a lot of synergy going. Sky Temple is going to be the map, and LDLC is trying their lockdown comp again. It worked so well for them on the last map that they are having a very, very similar composition now on Sky Temple. Map number 3, ladies and gentlemen, here at the ESL Major League Playoffs in the winner bracket final between the Spanish team and the Polish Gamers2.
Sky Temple is the 3rd map in the best of 5 series here today, and the series is tied. We have a 1-1 situation between the 2 teams here, Gamers2 and LDLC. And right now we see LDLC with exactly the same comp that they had in the last game. Polato on Uther, Falcon on Vala, Kilachino with Tacita, Didarka with Muradin, and Black Scorp on Carrigan. Gamers2, on the other hand, they switched things up a bit. They have now Leo from Korea playing Malfurion. We have an Abathur in the game played by ADRD. Yoba on Zeratul is probably going to get the most attention from Abathur in this game. Nika with Sergeant Hammer and Shaihu with ETC. This is the comp that they designed to take down LDLC now in this 3rd game, and we're going to find out right now if this is going to happen. Not quite sure why Leo from Korea is certainly speaking German, but yeah.
Yeah, he's from apparently all over the place. I think his Twitter is Leo from Zambia. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, like, yeah, he thinks he's from all over the place. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but I didn't know that he actually knows some German, so that was interesting. We have Pressurized Glance as the #1 talent here on Abathur, and that of course also confirms what we've been talking about. He's going for a build that is designed to assist Zeratul throughout this game, and we're already seeing him with a hat on Zeratul trying to push Palato back here at the Watchtower.
It's a cute little hat. I did see that small Diablo comic that was out on Reddit for that little hat, and oh boy was that cute. I need to try and find that again actually and save it somewhere. But aside from that, for now, these lineups are taking shape with, once again, you know, Falcon and LDLC and the whole team, they've had a little bit of a warm-up with this composition, should I say. So they're going to feel right at home at the very start of this game.
Yeah, this CC comp that they've been using in the last game was extremely successful on Dragonshire, and if they get the same amount or like the same setup here at the beginning, that would be great for them. If they get a good start and are able to just sync up these stuns, that would be great for them. We have them already starting to move in and try to claim vision here as the fight for the temple is starting. The mid temple is the one that both teams are currently fighting over. And right now, Shaihu, I don't think that he can really move into this, not with Black Scorp and Kilachino being there, but Abathur is trying to help out already.
Oop, there's the grab. Shaihu is going to take a bit more damage during all of that, not comboing it up with the stun straight there from Black Scorp, but at least forced him away, so got some extra shots off here.
Yeah, Black Scorp is currently taking the top shrine, but right now I really think that if LDLC is doing a good job in the middle, they can rotate towards the top and maybe get the last few shots of this one as well. At the bot lane, Muradin and Malfurion are currently fighting against each other, claiming the experience on that lane in particular. And we have a change here in the build for Zeratul. It's something that Gamers2 has been doing in the past. They go for a right-click build on Zeratul and not for the build that we've seen used by Black Scorp in game #1.
Oh, Xiaowei was hunting down Black Scorp there briefly as she was very, very low on that Kerrigan, but Looks like not going to get too much of an opportunity to do much at all, even missing that singularity spike there. So Xiaowei, not much room for him to do much more.
At the top lane now, Nika still trying to push it. He needs, of course, to be very careful. If his thrusters are still up, then he should always be able to escape if Kerrigan tries to jump in. But once the thrusters are in cooldown, he is going to be in a very dangerous spot, so he needs to be careful with that. The top temple still has a lot of ammunition, and that's where we're seeing LDLC in position. But a slight lead in experience already for Gamers2, and they get the kill against Kerrigan.
Yeah, good stuff. They'll be able to pick up some of these shots as well. Zeratul got most of these shots earlier on, with draining it to about half, and then, of course, abandoned to try and go on the hunt for Black Score, but couldn't find him. Now, finally getting Retribution and being able to pick up that kill is A-okay. Look at this, Muradin going for a different build this time. Bit more of a tanky build. Thunderburn is going to be taken up at level 4 there, after Block being taken at level 1. Really wants to be that frontline presence, strong against the damage potential coming out of Nika and Xiaowei.
It's actually interesting to see that, because I believe that this build is quite new. I have not really seen that yet, not even in the last patch. There was a Thunderclap build, but usually you would also take the level 1 talent there with the Reverberation. Haha, nice save by Abathur. Leo was a dead man, but then Abathur came in, and that cute little parasite was able to do a whole lot here. I love, by the way, that pajama skin for Abathur. It is absolutely amazing, and I love that Blizzard is tweaking with those skins that they already introduced and make them even better, especially since we're having also the Locust suddenly changing form and the symbiote head itself.
Yeah, it's really cute. It is. Which one? It's the one that has the trains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The little trains, oh, they are so cute. I really like that. There's the little tweaks to the skins, like even the legendary skins of Tassadar that we've seen many a time now, is something that is really awesome. Just all the little changes in the forms.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I really like it. What I also like is that we're currently seeing Mule taken on Abathur, which makes sense since this is one of those maps where the objectives attack the structures directly. Mule is a great tool to use on one of those, and we don't have that on the side of LDLC. They decided to go for the static charge on Tassadar instead of picking Mule up. Besides that, the builds are pretty much what you would expect, with the exception of course, on Zeratul going for the right-click build and using searing attacks on level 7, therefore. And with the piercing bow on level 7 from Muradin, who goes for a bit of a hybrid build here, but doesn't want to pass on the double stun that he has on 7 with a stronghold.
Well, Gamers2 is already positioned and poised to actually charge down towards this if they really want it. T-Dark are going pretty far into enemy lines with Xiaowei just kind of poking away in there. And they will now start to lay claim to this temple location, whilst not too much movement from Valor up at the top, really wanting to try and rival Hammer up there as well.
Yeah, and right now we have, of course, I don't know if I mentioned it already, on level 4 Adrenal Overlord. This is basically the standard build that you take on Abathur if you want to help a single hero out. And in this case, especially with the right-click build that we are seeing, Adrenal Overlord is going to be a great talent when you start to use Symbiote for Zeratul. So this is what they really gonna look out for. ADRD is very far out on the map to gain the experience here in this case, so he's trying to soak the lane. We have the rotation from Vala coming in now too, but the faster level 10 for sure for the Polish team, and with that they should be able to claim this temple now.
Yeah, pushing them away and making sure that they can just go straight into this location. Tranquility, avoid prison, napalm strike.
What? No, he didn't kill him.
Oh,
Nika had a shot against Falcon here. I have no clue why he didn't take that. That was an easy kill for him. He must have lost vision somehow. Oh my god, I can't believe that Vala survived that.
Oh, well, here comes a second ETC now being symbioted, or even being cloned for him. There goes the Maelstrom for Black Scorp, though, trying to get himself out of this corner. He is pretty much stuck. Huge amounts of damage coming out here from the AoE there from Kilachino as well to push Gamers2 back.
Wow, that was brutal. I mean, that was painful. That corner, the idea behind it is of course nice. You put a hero like Kerrigan in a corner, you try to eliminate her as fast as you can, but then level 10 hits, and with level 10 it's Maelstrom. Archon gets so much damage off against all those clustered up units, and we have Avatar as well just going full ham on that. And nobody died, and suddenly with so many heroes down, LDLC just goes straight for boss and takes this one as well. That situation backfired fast.
Yeah, Abatha's trying to kind of get a little bit of an advantage off of that, and knowing that the boss is being taken down there, trying to position himself a bit more aggressively up to the top, get some of those locusts pushing really, really hard down this lane, symbioting some of the minions there to push it as hard as possible. But Tassadar will be there soon to clean up. Boss is going to try and be taken down here from Gamers2. They won't be able to take the fort off of this, and actually the repair roll should be pretty good here, so Abatha doing his job tenfold.
Yeah, that mule is going to be extremely useful in this game. And the ultimate evolution changes that Blizzard introduced in this particular patch make Abatha suddenly a bit more useful. They also changed the monstrosity slightly, so now it doesn't expire anymore. They still made a bit of a mistake on the level 20 talent, because it still says that it will increase the duration by 50%, which is kind of useless since the monstrosity doesn't die anymore. And the monstrosity can actually get very powerful. I already ran Abatha with the monstrosity gaining, I think at the end it had 5,500 hit points, which is pretty cool. So you can always just move it back and then back into a fight. Shaiku has the mosh pit, and he was trying to use that in the last game already. He's up against the same comp, so it will once again be very difficult for him to get a good one off without being stunned immediately by LDLC.
And double Sergeant Hammer now as ADRD is going to move forwards here, trying to find some damage wherever he can. He boosted on forwards, being very, very aggressive with that. Maybe if he can do a little bit more damage down here, but at the same time, not really too much. So it's double temple opening up now up to the top and the bottom. Let's see who's going to be able to take each one.
And ADRD, I love how he doesn't even bother to hide his Abatha. He's just like straight out there on the lane. He's like, what, go into the bush so they don't see me? No, I don't need that. I am present on the map. I want them to see me. Look at my Abatha skin, and unfortunately he doesn't really have one.
Well, as long as he's spatially aware and map present and keeping an eye on that all times, he should be completely fine. He should be fine. He's going to hide now behind his walls whilst these temples are being taken. 1-1 apiece at the moment. Gamers2 gaining a little bit more experience, catching up to the position, but obviously the temple down to the bottom gained them a little bit of extra chunk of experience there for LDLC.
Yeah, now we have the Soma Transference on the side of Abatha, getting the additional Spike Burst heal. So that is an interesting one. It's actually a talent that I haven't seen all that much on level 13 for the hero yet. Most of the players that I've seen play him so far still go for the Assault Locust to get a bit more damage out of their Locust power there for Siege. But in this case, it's a bit of a change that we're seeing for Abatha here. We also have for Zeratul the Assassin's Blade trait now. So it's really just that right-click build on Zeratul that really works well with what Abatha is doing in this game. On the side of LDLC, we're having the multi-shot build continued by Vala, and also the very tanky variation of Muradin with a spell shield here. A lot of pressure, by the way, up here at the top where two of those bruiser camps collide now. And of course we see again the Spanish team trying to push in, and if they get a good stun lock off, then they might be able to get a kill, but Abatha is soaking the bot lane now while he helps his team out here at the top.
Yeah, he left. He was actually in location up here for a while during all of that, but decides to go all the way down the bottom whilst this is going on. Still present here with his symbiote onto one of these heroes, and at the same time now, LDLC decided to back off. They're not going to get much more done there. Very, very even game, I gotta say. Very even game. Of course, there is still one fort left for each of these teams at this point, and maybe they're looking to rival this bottom location.
And with Abatha and all that split push that we have, he has given this team a bit of an advantage in experience, and that was pretty useful so far. And they'd hit level 15 a bit faster. They don't get an extra talent for that, but once level 16 comes into play, that's going to be interesting. I love that we see, by the way, Abatha copying like everybody in their team.
Yeah.
So we had one copy on Zeratul, another one on Sergeant Hammer, one on ETC. I think Malfurion is going to be next, or at least he's going. If not, he's going to be very disappointed. Abatha is back at the top lane again, soaking experience by two of the temples go online, and that will, I guess, for both teams, drop the last fort.
That sounds like an achievement in an achievement system where you like clone every single one of your members in a game. But sadly, no ADRD, that's not in this game at the moment, so you can't really get too much from that.
Yeah, as long as you don't clone Murky, I'm happy.
Oh yeah. Actually, I'm going to do that tonight. I think I'll just go and have some fun in quick match, and then everybody will be really angry at me.
Yeah, the Murky clone incoming. So, well, we have the temples going online now. Bottom temple taken by LDLC, mid temple taken by Gamers2. Leo nearly getting thrown away there. So far, no, they actually rotate down. They want to contest this 16 talents faster for LDLC, and they try to use it. They go straight for Nika and blow him up before the Void Prism hits.
Yeah, not too much room. And Shaihu, good luck getting out of here, my friend. That's going to be a bit difficult with 5 men on top of you. Very difficult to actually get out of that position.
Yep, 2 kills for the Spanish team, and this CC comp is just so strong. And the timing is perfect for them. The boss is just back online, and they can go straight for it. They kill 2 heroes. There's no way for Gamers2 to contest this. And after Gamers2 was pretty easily able to win map number 1, it looks like they might fall behind in this game. I mean, the match isn't over just yet, but so far I have to admit that LDLC is doing a lot of work with their stun comp.
Yeah, they're looking great, and you know what? It'd be the sickest thing in the world if we go into Cursed Hollow and they're just like, yeah, we'll just run the same comp again and just win 3 games in a row. That would be the most amazing, momentous situation of all time.
No, there's no way this is going to be allowed. I mean, if Gamers2 actually loses this game, I mean, they haven't lost it yet. It is still 16 versus 17. They're very close in experience. They have all the chance in the world to turn this around. But if they would lose here and would still allow LDLC to get the same comp again in the next game, I would be beyond being like this. Now, no, there's no way.
It would be something special, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's see. They still need to win this one though for that to even come to fruition, as they're doing well for themselves. That boss was able to push down pretty hard on that lane to the bottom, but there is that mule there now repairing away that keep. And Zhao Wei has just walked into a bit of a trap. Gonna blink away though. Very, very good.
The thing is, I really like that idea of the synergy between Abathur and his build and what we are seeing for Zeratul, switching up the build into a right-click build. Normally, I personally feel that the normal caster build that you have on Zeratul is the stronger one, but with an Abathur going for this build in particular, especially with traits like Adrenal Overlord being used, for example. I really like that. I like that approach to the game and to the team composition that they're using here, but in most of the fights, that stun was just getting the well, LDLC just got the upper hand because of the stun lock that they had against them, and it always felt like LDLC just got the momentum going for them in the fights thanks to those stun locks. And with Benediction now coming in, it's going to be so difficult to drop Kerrigan, especially since she also has Blood for Blood. I feel that level 16 is much stronger for LDLC than it is for Gamers2.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Zeratul having this build and having the symbiote on him, etc. if there was like a cleanse on their side of things to try and keep him going throughout all of this. But once he jumps in, it's all this lockdown that just keeps going and going and going and never really stops from T Darker and Uther and Black Scott. And once Zeratul actually gets in there, unless he's able to jump out somehow, some way, he will get punished.
Yeah, and right now, looking at this, I mean, they didn't even bother going for the dimensional shift talents on Tassadar, but added the extra damage instead on the slow. So with all of that happening, you can really see the confidence in their build. They're going straight for the stun against Shaihu once again. The fight for the mid-temple is there, 18 versus 18, and there they jump in once again. The healing ward is in position, is working quite well. Finally taken out by ADRD on the second Sergeant Hammer. They're going to wait that out for now. We're going to try and drop it. But are they moving in? Are they trying to get that kill? Shaihu has imposing presence that makes him a very bad target.
Yeah, he's going to still take a lot of stuns there for his team, and there goes the root straight onto Valor, falling down. Also a great Void Prism to lock them down and keep them out of this fight for a long time whilst they were able to pick up another potential target.
Wow, Black Scorp just using sprint in the last second to get into that Void Prism, but it doesn't help him to survive, or does it? No, in the end he dies regardless. It's a 5 versus 3 situation now in favor of Gamers2. That might be exactly the moment they were looking for. Suddenly they are close to level 20. They were able to win this fight. A lot of focus on ETC, but they were never able to drop him. That imposing presence and relentless make him so damn hard to kill, and suddenly they are the ones pressuring LDLC and trying to get the first keep of the game.
I really think Gamers2 took a great engagement. They waited and they saw how much of especially Kerrigan's toolkit was used on an ETC, and then straight as it expired, as it's gone, jump in, get some damage done, get the kills. They were able to get a great route down there from Leo from Korea as well, just to lock down the targets that he wanted to get on. Perfect timing through everything there, I feel.
Yeah, now we have the evolutionary link for Abathur, which is going to be great with the maximum health that you get there. We have also Nexus Blades, Nexus Frenzy. We are seeing the Hardened Shield, which is... I mean, can you kill ETC at this point with all those talents that he has? Block on 1, Relentless on 13, 16 Imposing Presence, Hardened Shield on 20. This is, like, impossible to take him down.
Yeah, it's almost where you just don't use any of your stuns on him. You try your best to ignore him, but even if you do, if you get clumped up in a tight corner and the mosh pit goes down, what are you supposed to do from there? Just interrupt it and continue ignoring him, I guess, because good luck killing him off anytime soon.
Yeah, and Gamers2 is now taking camp after camp. They're trying to utilize the 20 as much as they can, and they do. We have now 20... Oh, the kill on Abathur. This time he was a bit too far out on the map. This time they were looking for him, they found him, and this is of course a very, very bad moment for Abathur to die, because in 20 seconds the next temples are going to be online and the boss is again on the map, just as LDLC has an opportunity to take it without being contested.
Yeah, good luck for them rivaling this. They may try and steal it. Maybe Shaihu can get a good mosh pit off somewhere as he pushes on forwards. T-Darker takes quite a bit of damage. The boss is going low, though. T-Darker obviously is going to be healed up quite considerably during all of this. Benediction has not been used just yet, so there's still big, big burst heals available to him. Is he going to try and get the mosh pit? There's the Void Prism to try and start this off.
The Divine Shield already being used as well, and ETC is so low, but he's using his skills to push everybody away. They might be able to get it, but no, they go for ETC again, and they kill him. They actually kill him, and they drop Leo as well. 3 heroes down. They take the boss. Everybody survives.
Oh my
Taking
God.
a 4 versus 5 fight is something that you never want to do, but apparently Gamers2, they felt like they didn't have another choice. Karrigan dies. Yoba takes down Karrigan, but can they keep Zeratul alive now?
It was a nice try. To be fair to Gamers2, it was a nice try. Oh, and Nutha's actually going to fall there as well during all of this. They pick up some kills on the pursuit.
Everybody! They get everybody!
How did... Alright then.
Wow. The boss was captured, and Gamers2 thought, well, we can still turn this around, and they did. Abathur came back, he went for the copy, and suddenly they push everybody back. What an amazing move by Gamers2, and it felt like LDLC just thought they were safe, but turns out they are not. The keep is still going to die at the left side of the map where the boss is doing work. Even the mule cannot prevent this, but now a fort or the keep in the mid lane is gone for LDLC, and they lost the one at the bot lane as well.
And Nika with the Nexus Blades obviously at level 20. God mode here for Hammer begins. I love getting Nexus Blade. When you get to that situation when you hit level 20 as Hammer, it's the best feeling in the world. And he will be able to get quite a lot of shots off here. Gamers2, I can't believe that turnaround.
That was crazy.
Just flabbergasted. That's crazy.
Really crazy. I mean, Yoba alone jumping in on Zeratul, taking Karrigan down, and I don't think that LDLC ever realized in how much danger they were in. I didn't realize it either. I really thought, alright, they won the fight, everything is fine for them, and then suddenly Zeratul jumps in, Abathur comes back, goes for the copy, but they kill Hammer. Oh, they lose Karrigan again, and Falcon is also low, but gets sealed by Polato, who joins them. Abathur, of course, is a force to be reckoned with at this point in time.
Yeah, and Polato at the same time, the Benediction has been used, so there's no huge burst heal from him. He's already been used, but here comes the Archon again. The Void Prism is going to lock down 3 of them. Can they do anything to T-Darker during that time? I don't think so, but they have all been healed up. Zhao Wei is in the back lines of this as well, trying to get out. Mosh Pit's going to catch 2 of them there and try and do something from that point on, but and they will be able to pick up Uther.
They pick Uther, and you can't lose this fight. You're on 50% with the core already. They lose Vala as well. This has to be game, or can somehow LDLC turn this around again? Gilachino, he tries to go for it, but nope, they are not getting the kill against Zeratul, and Leo is moving back now as well. But T-Darker, he's still fighting, and he goes for it. He goes for you over. Oh, in the last second, jumps away, but he's getting chased, and Abathur for the save in the last second, and now T-Darker is in trouble.
Still Shaihu trying to chase Kilachino all the way back. Muradin's going to end up falling in mid. Leo from Korea and Joey are going to join him at the front here to try and push this down. It's at 43%. Here comes Blackscorp to try and do something. Maelstrom has been popped here with the grab straight on, but he's going to end up falling so fast.
That annihilation of Karrigan. The game is over. This time Gamers2 defeats the composition of LDLC, and they take the lead in the best of 5 series with a 2-1 here against the Spanish team.
What an amazing finish! Gamers2 turns things around, they lose the boss, they engage into a 4 versus 5 battle, lose the fight, lose their heroes, and then only 2 are alive. Abathur comes back, jumps into Zeratul, and suddenly LDLC gets ripped to shreds. What an amazing comeback here by the Polish team. They take the 3rd victory, they take the game on Sky Temple, and therefore they have now the lead in the best of 5 series with a 2-1. We are going on to the next map and things are getting crazy here. LDLC has done a great job today so far, but they are behind all of a sudden. They are the team that needs to win it now or they will drop into the losers bracket. And let's see how they're going to do that. For their opponents, for Gamers2, we have Team Frost coming into play. They run with Arthurs and Jaina in the next match. Have a very, very crazy comp going for them. And that might be exactly what they need to close this series out with a 3-1. We're going to find out right now, jumping into game number 4.
Game number 4 is on Cursed Hollow, and currently we have a lead for the Polish team. Leo from Korea and his boys were able to win 2, and of course the last game that we saw on Sky Table was brilliant by them. Gamers2 with Leo from Korea on Uther here to the left side in blue, AD Ardi on Tassadar, Shaihu on Chen, Nika on Jaina, and Yoa is playing Arthurs in this game. The Spanish team, on the other hand, they looked for a long time in the 3rd map as if they were able to take it, but then Gamers2 turned things around against them. Tidaka is playing ETC for them here, Polator, Rega, Black Scorp on Zeratul, Falcon on Sergeant Hammer, and Kilachino is playing Vala.
Alright, let's get into things then, as already Gamers2 are trying to set up a little bit of a trap in mid, with Leo from Korea poking his head out of the gate there just a little bit, maybe acting as a bait, but overall, nobody's showing any positions at all. LDLC are going to play this slow, they're not even going to reveal their lanes up until the point where the minions spawn.
Interesting to see Howling Blast cooldown reduction on level 1 for Arthurs. So Arthurs was changed a lot in the recent patches, and he kind of fell off a bit. For a long time he was the tank and the auto pick for all of the teams, but right now he does a bit more damage. He is also not as tanky as he was before, and Gamers2 has a different approach to him apparently, as most of the teams do, going for the Howling Blast reduction. We've already been talking about their composition being a lot about control, and this first talent just highlights that again.
Yeah, got to give the tip of the hat to trying to chain up those blizzards whenever you need that Howling Blast off cooldown. Obviously, you can see Nika here with Xiaowei as well, trying to lock down anybody that's going to get in that position. And the Howling Blast does catch him with some blizzard damage there as well, just on the very edge. So already forcing Darker to, T-Darker even, I should say, to actually tap that well.
Yeah, at the bot lane we're having Team Frost being present. Nika and Yova are starting to move up to the top. Mid lane first, where Black Scorp is still there. I'm really surprised that he doesn't rock that Zerg skin that we are seeing for Zeratul. Like, him being a main Zeratul player, I would have expected him to go for the stylish skin here.
It's menacing, especially when you're going up against like Kerrigan or Zagar, for example. I killed your brood, I may as well just wear them as regalia. So it's something that's kind of scary.
Yeah, and also scary is the lineup that we see at the top now, with Yoa just waiting for the Howling Blast there. Uh-oh, Black Scorp is there as well, and that is more that he bargained for. Suddenly Yoa is in trouble, he just is barely able to escape. Nika does have that Blizzard present, but uses it a bit too late to get the double wave out against everybody else.
I do love the Frostworm skin on Arthas, very, very cool, and, well, for now, they are holding on up at the top. They have already lost the tower, though, so Falcon is doing what Falcon does best. I'm going to go back to an Apolloism. And he already brought down the tower, which is very nice.
Well, I was thinking you were saying flying or something like that. Okay, that was a bad one. I couldn't resist, though. Kilachino with a good vault here, dodging the Howling Blast. In the mid lane, we have Nika clearing the waves, but Black Scorp has something to prove here. Black Scorp lost the first Zeratul game that he played today, and then later Yoba was showing him how it's done when he played Zeratul on Sky Temple. So I feel that Black Scorp is in a spot where he says, like, alright, challenge accepted, the gauntlet has been thrown, I'm gonna show you that I'm still the boss here.
T-Darker manages to get out there with a power slide and not be locked down here by Shaihu and Xiaowei, who do have good space control just in general from them. I'm really interested to see how they're going to be able to push people away with the Wandering Keg one that comes along. I loved watching those El Nexo games of the previous patch where they were using it in such a manner with Lucifron doing so well with it, but let's see how Gamers2 is going to fare.
Yeah, one of the teams that actually experimented with the Wandering Keg first and showed it in competitive play was Beat Our Bakers. They did really well with that, and it was always impressive to see it. At the beginning when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, what are they doing? This is so silly. And then they started to keg me into their team, and I'm like, oh my god, this is annoying. So yeah, that has some style, and El Nexo picked that up really fast. Right now we are also seeing against Zeratul Tacita being played, and one of the reasons why Tacita is a really good hero against Tacita is that he has Oracle, and with the mental acuity we are having the cooldown reduced by quite a lot. At the same time, Nika in the mid lane is having a lot of trouble. He might know where Black Scorp is with the Zeratul, but he can't do anything about it, and Shaihu is jumping down as well. Suddenly two of them are dead, and they did not expect this much damage and burst coming out of LDLC in the mid lane.
Yeah, good kills, very good kills. Leo from Korea is just holding on against T-Darker at the bot, but this is going to basically be a free little tribute for them, as long as they're able to position themselves quickly for it, and they should be able to, so not much to be room to actually deny that at all. And Gamers2 just going to have to spread out and disperse across this map, making sure that they can get more experience.
Yeah, and in terms of builds, we have again for Jaina on level 7, not Frostbitten taken, but instead the Icelands. That is a build that we've already seen earlier today. Regarding the Arthur's build, is Rune Tap on level 7. This is a talent that has never really changed. You took that in the first alpha patch for Arthur's and it's still viable. Frozen Wastes is the level 4 talent that we're seeing for the hero here. Down to the bot lane, it's still Leo from Korea facing off against T-Darker, and well, with 1-1 tribute for each team, it's still like a pretty even game. No talent, by the way, picked for Uther, who's apparently not quite certain if he wants to go for cleanse or not.
Nope, no, apparently so. Shaihu's going to have to get out there again in the mid lane, doing a little bit of fire breath damage to some of those minions and making sure that not too much of the ammo is going to be soaked up there from the towers once it pushes forwards. But interesting, I kind of like Icelands. Once your Icelanders are on 2-second cooldowns, for a single focus fire target, it can be very, very powerful as long as you've got the right line of sight towards them. So I kind of like the talent from Nika.
Yeah, I mean, we talked... Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Arthur's getting away. How did that happen? Kills ETC and moves away. That was really well done here, trying to fight for the tribute. They're still on even experience. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there are different builds to Jaina, especially the level 4 talent is something where we see a lot of variation. And I kind of like that about it. This is one of the things that people always mention about Jaina, that they said it's pretty cool to see that you have so many builds that are viable. Black Scorp, by the way, is currently experiencing the power of Iceland's firsthand. Gets locked down a lot and slowed here. Kilachino was trying to help him out, but with the last second blink, he was able to move away there.
And that totem is pretty annoying with the lightning shield on it, just to make sure that you can't exactly claim that location. So good composition there, and good synergy by Polito to just throw down that little totem whenever he needs it.
Yeah, Singularity Spike interrupted the tribute once again. Nika was trying to take it with his Jaina. Kilachino is pushed back by Shaihu. That fight is very spread out right now. It looks very wonky right now. At this point, there we go, trying to push Falcon in, but the heal is there. Nika is low, and ETC jumps in as the Divine Shield saves Jaina. Down goes Sergeant Hammer, and Rhaegar is so close to dying. Shaihu is trying to jump him, and the flying kick is nearly taking him on. But at the same time, Jaina doesn't make it either, and that is a lot of damage that is suddenly missing from the lineup of G.
That was so funny. That was so funny. Like, even if Hammer had had an opportunity to get out, the stun from the boss confirmed the death. And that was pretty sad there, unfortunately. Shaihu got hit by it as well, but amidst all the members there of Gamers2, not much you're going to be able to do against that.
We have Holy Fire on level 7 for Uther.
Oh, wow, yeah. I wonder if it's a mistalent.
I don't think so. Considering how long he waited to take it, I don't think it's a mistalent. Usually when you misclick on a talent, it happens because you are like too fast with it, and not because you take so much time. Oh, that jump against Chen in the mid lane, taking him out here. But it's definitely not something that I really expected, to be honest with you.
Yeah, may have to ask him about that afterwards, actually, because that's an interesting choice.
Maybe because it reveals Black Scorp.
Maybe, yeah. That's the only thing I can think of right now, at least.
Now the boss, by the way, at the top is now being taken by the Spanish team. So they are still doing very well here. 4 kills against 3. The rotations are strong and they were able to pick a few of the targets off, but they lost the second tribute, so they have to fight for the one at the top lane. And they've even been trying to get a bit more experience. The bot lane, that's where we're seeing boss number 2 take, and vision is granted, but they are too late to react to that. So we have a boss pushing for each one of the teams, and now both of them can move towards the tribute.
Yeah, was pretty close though. Was pretty close. They were nearing that quite quickly. So Gamers2, good to just make sure to pick that up as quickly as they could do on the other side of things. So looks like both forts may end up falling here, and the top one also going down, but the tribute is here for also LDLC to try and get something going with it. There goes the elemental. Will it be able to do much? They want to bring down that healing tome. Oh, that holy blast!
Wow, against 3 people, but the Black Scorp Void Prism saved them for now. In comes the jump. Oh, red team is cursed, and they're losing Titaka. The barrel, they're kicking away everybody here. And another Howling Blast against Falcon. The Ancestral Healing saving his ass for now. Shaiku needs to get away. The Divine Shield saving him, but Tacita dies to Zeratul.
Just barely going to have to retreat out from that. ADRD was doing huge amounts of damage during that fight, really bringing down ETC very, very quickly. But the pursuit continues on. Leo from Korea might actually take crippling damage, but the Howling Blast will be able to save him just at the very end of that. Black Scorp's jumping in, gets himself a kill on Arthas, and gets right on out of there.
Yeah, just before that he killed Jaina too. Jaina skilled sprint immediately on 13 and then tried to get away, but Black Scorp was there with a Singularity Spike. Now we have a double spell shield taken against especially Black Scorp.
Wow.
So respect talent taken on level 13. With that curse, the boss at the bot lane is of course doing an impressive amount of work, pushing through the entire wall and also threatening keep now.
Yep, doing alright for itself, but at the same time now, they're just going to take easy camp up to the top here, are Gamers2. Blow for blow, so level at the moment in this game, in this regard. It's just obviously a few more kills going over to LDLC and giving them that slight experience lead.
I'm really, really curious to see how those 2 spell shields are gonna work out for Gamers2 now in those fights, because Black Scorp is giving them a lot of trouble going for the standard Black Scorp build, but we have Divine Shield now, we have a double spell shield, and all of that is going to negate a huge amount of damage that Black Scorp could dish out there. So this is an interesting one. Also no Feral Lunge for Rhaegar, by the way, he goes for the wave instead.
Yep, looking to keep all of those little squishies that he has available to him all the more alive, especially when you actually throw down the Lightning Shield on top of a Zeratul and you throw then down the Healing Wave. It really does a lot, so, but it's nice to see. I think he knows that he has enough damage on his side of things with the other members of his composition to just keep him going.
Oh yeah, I mean if you have the right-click damage alone from Vala and Sergeant Hammer is insane, and then you have Black Scorp as well, and he's just like jumping around now with the Wormhole talent on level 13. He has so much mobility that he can use. And the level lead that we are seeing here for LDLC is very dangerous. That's very threatening to Gamers2, because at this point the 16 talent is going to hit any second, and there it is. And that means that we are having at least 1 blood for blood. Vala's probably going to pick up the second one. And a lot of sustainability on ETC and Sergeant Hammer with the stone skin that they go for.
The split push continuing on with ETC down towards the bottom. Black Scorp's looking to get a bit of damage done there to Nika, but doesn't quite get a huge amount. Forces him to sap the well though, but he's still right back in this fight with the 5 present here. ETC doing quite a bit of damage actually to that fort at the bottom.
Must be so annoying to play Jaina right now against Black Scorp, because you know he's always going to be on your ass immediately in those fights, and if you don't have that hit point pool to really deal with all the damage that he can put on you, then you are in so much trouble. You have to heavily rely on Tacita and Uther to keep you alive.
Fort falls at the bottom. ETC does his job in spades, and now we have Kilachino just poising himself, ready to pick up this tribute whenever it goes down. If they get this one, then there's just 1 more off a curse, but Gamers2 doesn't even give a damn about that one. They're going to try and find some other route to get something done here.
It's actually impressive how much Black Scorp can do here, considering that we have not only Oracle with a talent to reduce the cooldown here, but we have a lot of talents taken to just specifically work against Zeratul in this case, and he's still such a big threat.
Yeah, and hero damage really hasn't gone over to Gamers2 at all. Huge amounts of hero damage being done on the side here of LDLC, who have really worked so well in these team fights. But here we go again. There's the Elementalist already popped during all of this. The Rain of Vengeance only manages to catch 1 or 2 of them. Shizu actually going to have to get out there as well. And ADR doing quite a bit of AoE damage to the Howling Blast targets.
Yeah, Howling Blast, well done. But we have ETC jumping in with a great stage dive. Jaina is about to go down, but first of all, Tassadar dies, and now Shaiku is dying as well. Oh my god, that damage. Arthas is dead, and Black Scorp is starting to chase Leo with another Singularity Spike, slowing him down one after another. He doesn't even ignore him for now. It just says like, alright, I basically don't need to do anything about you. I can move all the way up to the top right, put a curse on you, while the rest of my team is gonna push in that keep.
Yeah, difficult to really slow this down now. Nika is the only defensive line available to them, as it has been fully revealed, his position, and we'll keep an eye on him for a while whilst being able to kill off this keep. So gaining themselves a great little advantage here. Leo from Korea, though, doing alright to delay that curse, but just waiting for the rest of his team to get up and running.
Yeah, Black Scorp is moving in to finally now take that tribute, but Leo is turning around. The boss at the bot lane is being contested now, and could actually be a 4 versus 4 situation. The 16 talents are there for Gamers2, and it looks like they're going to try and move in for that to steal that out. And they will be able to do that. They will be able to steal the boss, but they accept the curse as a result.
Alright, well, at least they get themselves that boss to push on down. They may go ham and try and do something down this bottom lane with that boss, but that's quite an ambitious move. They're already chasing the guys back here, so they're going to have to go back at some point. Falcon has very little mana to his name at the moment.
Yeah, they're 2 level down now. I mean, what can they really do about this? We have a double blood for blood still on the side of LDLC, and in those fights that really showed us the Stone Skins, that boss, of course, it's important that they take it away from LDLC, that they really have... I don't think he's going to be able to do too much to that keep. It's not going to kill it, but still, that would have been a devastating boss if LDLC picks that up and has the curse going for them. Then they would have lost so much more. They could have lost the game there. As it happens, we're having now camps taken all over the map from Gamers2. They're trying to get something going against that boss, but LDLC is just in a very controlling position here. We could very well see a 5th game now in the series.
Yeah, we could. Maybe Gamers2 can try and rival this boss up to the top. I don't think they want to start it just yet, that's for sure. They want to try and see if their opposing team is going to try and take it, and then from there contest it. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to push through the middle here. Maybe they could take a fight before level 20. That would be the best opportunity for them, but even that's risky.
Yeah, you know, it's risky because like the problem is that the last few team fights, they never even got a single kill off. It's 10 kills against 4 at this point. It's extremely tricky for Gamers2 to just like get a foothold in those fights and get a starting point. Every single time they make a good move, there is a Void Prism that sets up the perfect stage dive, and it's so difficult right now. I feel this is ballsy. Going for the boss like that is extremely ballsy. I feel they overextended way too hard here.
They've been revealed as well, and T-Dark is going to swim straight into these lines, doing a lot of AoE damage there to start things off. Shaihu is really in the thick of things. He is going to end up dying. There's the Divine Shield to keep him alive, but also the Void Prism to lock them all down. I don't know how they're going to survive this.
I don't know how they're going to survive that either, because at this point, ETC just jumps in. Nika is extremely low. Black Scorp needs to be careful, though. He gets healed with the Ancestral Healing, and that helps him. But the double kill against Jaina and against Arthas. Team Frost is down, and now they're going to try to take down Leo from Korea as well. Black Scorp jumps in again with the double Singularity Spike. Chen already dead, and Leo is not going to survive here. Polata helping out Black Scorp. Down goes Uther, and this is just brutal what LDLC is currently doing to Gamers2.
Yep, looking to just push down this wall and get straight in on this keep. Oh, actually, they just bust on through. Actually, they're just going to go for the core. Cool little shortcut. Why on earth not? With 4 men dead, may as well go straight for the core.
Definitely the move that they needed to bust out now. They have 5 heroes alive. They're up against only ADRD, and he is just not enough. That core is dropping in HP so fast. This is going to be game number 5. Gamers2 loses game number 4. We have LDLC tying up the series once again, and that means that we are going to see a final map in the winner bracket final here at the ESL Major League Playoffs.
Just wow. LDLC, they do it again. They tie the series up. It's a 2-2. They take the game, and now suddenly we are going all the distance. We're going all the way. We're going into map number 5, and this 5th map is Blackheart's Bay. This is where the teams will finally decide who's the victor in the best of 5 series, who will advance first to the grand final of the ESL Major League Playoffs. And again, we're having great team compositions. Gamers2 decides that it's time to run Illidan again. They go for Illidan once more, and at the same time we are seeing their opponents with this lockdown composition that was just so powerful for them. Having that Muradin in there, going for Uther with a stun as well, and just like trying to get these stun locks one after another. And Blackscorp is impressing today with Kerrigan. His compositions or his like comps with his talents are amazing on that hero. That lockdown that he's able to provide for his team is just crazy. And the entire comp is set up so that he's always being able to keep himself alive, which is just incredible considering that Kerrigan can be so squishy in the later stages of the game when she's being focused down. In this case, it worked out very well for the Spanish team so far, but we still don't know yet who's going to take it here. This is going to be the last map. It's the map that really counts, Blackheart's Bay, and it is going to be so important to win this one. The losing team is not out of the tournament, of course. They will drop down into the losers bracket and have another shot at the grand final, but the winner will advance already. So we're going to jump into the last game, the last map of the best of 5 series between Gamers2 and LDLC.
The last game of the day, the last game here in the winner bracket final of the ESL Major League Playoffs, and we have Gamers2 going up against LDLC, and they went all the distance here. An unbelievable set of games and maps that we had between the two teams, and it all accumulates. It all comes down to this map. Gamers2 starting to the left side with Leo from Korea on Rega, with ADRD on Sergeant Hammer, Shaichu on ETC, Yover with Illidan, and Nika on Vala. To the right side of the map with a very similar build to what they've played in the last 2 maps, we have LDLC with Tidaka on Muradin, Kilachino on Tazda, Blackscorp with Kerrigan, and Pulacha and Uther. The only hero that they had to change out was Zagara for Vala, since Vala was picked up by the opponent's team, by Gamers2, and this is going to be the conclusion of the day, ladies and gentlemen. So let's jump right in. I'm Khaldor, with me is Kilaris, and we're going to bring you the coverage of the last game in the final series here of the day.
And LDLC going to prioritize the watchtower control, whilst we have 3 laying in wait down towards the bottom, waiting for the potential Zagara actually to come along, but she's still sticking around at the top here, so we'll probably end up going up to the top lane, and or even just sticking around overall in the mid, and already controlling the watchtower quite aggressively with creep, to make sure it's not going to be taken away so easily.
Yeah, 2 waves cleared completely by LDLC, and they get a bit of a lead that they will trade chest for chest. Bottom chest cannot be taken, and Gamers2, they know that. They move down immediately. And we have also an adjustment with builds. We actually expected this out of SK Gaming when they chose Muradin against an Illidan composition. They didn't do it, lost in the end, and the Spanish team, they have a different approach. They don't go for the Stormwall build. We have Reverberation taken onto Darker with the Muradin, which makes a lot of sense if you are up against Illidan.
Yeah, loving it. And on the other side of things, actually Resistant has been taken for Sergeant Hammer, so really expecting a lot of lockdown, no surprises there. Resistant is a great little talent to be able to get out of there. You sacrifice a bit of damage for it, but that's okay.
Yeah, and ADRD actually getting blown to pieces regardless. Resistant or no resistant, in this case he was pretty helpless because there is just so much control coming out of LDLC's lineup, and it was very successful in this snipe.
Yeah, completely blown up. So, tough times there for Sergeant Hammer. Nika down to the bottom is just going to rival Kilachino and continue to hold on with that lane. Leo from Korea has to get on out of there, but look at that power coming out already. Tower going to fall super fast at the top.
Exactly, I mean, this is a super aggressive game that they are playing right now. First tower is down, second one is about to die as well. Polato is moving into the mid lane, trying to soak up some additional experience here, and there's very, very little that Gamers2 can do about it at this point. We have a full build, at least on level 1 and level 4, from Tidaraka, focusing on on the Thunderclap here. Could still go for the Stormbolt on level 7. We usually see that for the double stun, but this is extremely aggressive what we're seeing from Gamers2.
Yeah, would love to see them do some damage even to the middle towers as well. If they do, once that turning comes in, it's going to be fantastic for them to get a fort down and gain big chunks of experience in terms of that lead. T-Darker tries to hit a Stormbolt onto Shy, who doesn't quite get it, but Black Scorp's going to go straight onto the tower for some more damage.
Yeah, they go for the tower. We have a rotation to the top. Mutha getting the experience there. Shy, who actually in a bit of trouble, needs to power slide away, but Falcon is there with the Zagara, and they get another tower. They do so much damage to these structures already, and that's going to be great for them once they start turning in coins.
And Shy, who may have got overstep the mark, and actually just completely crumbles under the pressure. These kills are weird.
They are not kidding around here, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the aggression that we see there, it's insane. It's like they had a run-up and kicked ETC in the nuts. That's basically what happened there. The entire wall is already gone, and I think at this point, Gamers2 is really asking themselves, what on earth is happening just now?
Yeah, they are. As much as you can be taken for a ride here in the first 3.5 minutes, they're being dominated with the amount of experience lead. A full level ahead already. Now Shy, who's going to have to try and catch himself a little bit of soaking of experience up to the top, maybe push these guys back, but once they get a turn in, the fort's already going to die so quickly.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of rotations at the top lane, or the top 2 lanes between top and mid from LDLC. It's resembling a little bit what we usually see on a map like Dragonshire when you try to control the mid and the bot lane. And here they just rotated from one lane to another the entire time, pushed walls in, pushed towers in. They capture all of those coins here again and just completely ignore the bottom lane. The only thing that we have happening at the bot lane is Kilachino on Tacita trying to make sure that we don't see a massive push coming out of Gamers2, and so far it was successful.
They spot the turn in, but they really can't do much about it. They're way out of position. And I gotta say, as much as we always harp on about Black Scorp being really good on Zeratul, he's making Kerrigan look good in these couple of games.
Oh yeah, he does. I mean, those comps that he just basically hit every single time when he jumped in, he's an incredibly powerful melee assassin. Zeratul is of course his trademark character, but at the same time, I mean, he told me once, like, he plays everything in the game as long as it's melee.
Yeah.
He had a couple of matches where he played ranged heroes, but melee heroes are really where he is completely showing his strength, and Kerrigan is just another good example.
Kilachino is actually falling out of the game here, but they're still in a pretty good spot, so as long as they're able to keep Tacita alive and Kilachino's back, there we go, so should be completely fine and dandy.
That's really scary though. We don't have a pause function in custom games yet. This is still a beta. Blizzard is going to implement that at some point, but right now we don't have it, and this is always a big problem. If you're 5 minutes into a game, then of course you're pretty scared if one of your players drops out. In this case, they have more than a level of an advantage, and I mean, this is level 10 against level 9 that we see here, level 10 against 8 even.
Yeah.
So it's super scary. I really think that Gamers2, they need to do something really fast, or they will have a massive problem winning this last game.
They're not going to look to contest this turn-in, but at the same time, because this wall is still present here for LDLC, they won't really get a fort, so catching up in experience, yeah, they'll get some towers, but not much more than that. They're going straight for boss!
Wow, they just go straight for the boss 6 minutes in. We have them with Maelstrom, with more Archon, Avatar, and also Divine Shield. This is exactly what we've been seeing from them the entire time. They have still one hero down in the bot lane gathering up experience. ETC is going to maybe check that area up there, but if he does, he's going to die. This is such a strong presence on the map that we see from LDLC. It's really scary.
Beautiful start. It's almost a whirlwind of a start. It's ridiculously strong. They managed to get that fort in the end, in the middle there, with ADRD actually putting on a little bit more siege damage towards that. But more coins have been picked up. Black Scorp has 11 on him. This boss is going to push on forwards, get himself a fort, and then once they turn in, they may as well say bye-bye to another fort at the bottom if they actually have a strong push down there and kill off some towers.
Yeah, talking about the bottom, we have Gamers2 pushing in against the fort that we're seeing here. They just react and say like, okay, we go for counter pressure. We go and push that in, and they did. Now they can move back and go for for the defense because, let's face it, they have to. They cannot allow this boss and the entire setup that we see from LDLC to go in and threaten the keep. Even the camp is now being taken out. Yeah. And with the vision that they have, they know about it. Well, what they can do? What can they do? Absolutely nothing.
No, absolutely nothing. You're right. They're going to try and take Easy Camp down here, but there may be a few more coins going over in their direction. If they knew they were on Easy Camp, they could have even tried to rival that and contest it with 4 of the members. Actually, Zagaru went back, so maybe they couldn't have done that. But still, they have caught up in experience, which is okay here for Gamers2.
Yes, they caught up in experience. This is very important. They need to make things like this happen now because so far it has been an absolute beautiful start from LDLC. But Gamers2, I mean, they are a team that is incredibly strong. We are in the winner bracket final and it is the last map. So of course these teams are absolutely evenly matched. And Gamers2, they are a team you should never count out. LDLC had an amazing start into the game. They are the ones to dictate the pace of the match. They are the ones that set the entire they gain the momentum, but at the same time Gamers2 has shown several times in the past and in this particular best of 5 series that they are able to just bounce back, and if you underestimate them in a single fight they will punish you.
Double shrink ray being taken as well, so that's gonna really hurt the damage output from anybody on the side here. Of course, you know, with Hammer, Valor and Illidan being a threat, double shrink ray can really cut down anything you're going to be going up against here whilst they push on towards the bottom, get themselves another chunk of experience with an easy peasy 4 kill.
Yeah, they can even threat more than that. I mean, at this point in time, Gamers2 is moving up to the fort at the top, but they need to move back. They cannot allow them to just simply push through the wall. The move back is so late. What were they expecting? They lose so much time, and this entire wall is gone. That makes the next Ghost Ship Barrage even more powerful.
Just disengage if they really want to, and then walk on home. The level 13 talents are coming in here, though, for Gamers2. Feral Lunge has been taken by Rega, so a little bit more chasing potential. But Black Scorp's going to jump in, grab Shaihu. There goes the jump in from T-Darker as well, but they're not going to follow it up.
This is so scary what they are playing here. This is really scary. We have, by the way, double strike taken on Karrigan, which is a talent that we've seen Black Scorp use earlier on today already. They're going for additional coins, and they still have a fair amount. I mean, they're grabbing up 5 now. They can go to the bot lane and take even the hard camp here, the bruiser camp. We have all the way up to the top of 4 falling to ADRD, and that keeps Gamers2 in the run when it comes down to experience, but he is not going to be part of this fight. ETC needs to jump in, and needs to jump in now.
Here he comes, they're able to steal 3 of those coins though off the back of that. A lot of AoE damage being done, Kilishino going quite low. Zhao Wei trying to do something, but there is the shrink ray on top of him. Moore actually tries to catch people, but doesn't catch anybody, and they're well healed up. Gamers2 is going to pursue on forwards.
Gamers2 is moving in right now. They are smelling blood in the water and are trying to capitalize on the situation here, but they're moving back already since they realize that if they actually go for it, another lockdown attempt by Karrigan could completely take them out. And now they have vision, and suddenly it's T-Darker with an attempt to take on Shaihu. There's also Yoba to consider. ETC! ETC is being attacked and nearly dropped. He's so close to dying, and they get him. They turn this into a 5 versus 4 and are now able to turn in once again.
Great pickup, and that's going to give them an extra barrage here as T-Darker just turning in the rest of those coins to equalize that up. Very scary situation here for Gamers2, who come into this playoffs as big favorites. LDLC, of course, very powerful, but with those roster issues, and now with Falcon and Black Scorp coming back, it's back and forth in their roster itself. And look how they're performing. It's still 14-14 in terms of levels, but this barrage is going to get them all the more experience.
Yeah, Gamers2 is closing in on experience, but so far, I don't know, it's just from the looks of what happens here, it really just seems like LDLC is the team that can at will move in, retreat, whatever they want to do. But we've seen on Sky Temple how dangerous Gamers2 is. You think you've won the game, you actually think you won the fight, and then suddenly somebody jumps in, there comes an impressive play by Gamers2, and they are in the lead and turn things around within a second. And that is the one thing that LDLC has to be very scared of.
Picking up the easy camp, getting a few more coins. Here comes a turn-in potential here from Gamers2 as they have to clear the creep, unfortunately, given away instantly by that vision that was provided to it. And Benediction, Blood for Blood, Stormform, and the second strike, as well as Brood expansion coming in here for LDLC.
This is keep. This turn-in is keep. Keep number 1 is going to fall. The mid keep is going to be attacked next by the barrage, and that will take it on. 3 coins, that's all that they're missing. The keep in the mid lane already suffered damage. At the top lane, we're having 1 tower down, the other one nearly eliminated. So if they get 3 more coins, then it's going to be the first keep of the game, and this is so fast. We're only 12 minutes in. Both of the teams are super aggressive.
Yeah, really just kind of wanting to round this out and bring the fight to them. If you're being the aggressor, obviously it's for your opponent to try and react to that in the end, and it does cause them a few problems if they're not as defensively minded with all of this aggression going on. It's going to be Earthgrass Totem. Minefield actually gets taken here for Hammer, who, well, ADRD is apparently kind of mixing it up with the build, and they're already going for boss. They're threatening.
They're going for boss again, and Gamers2 is just wrapping around. They know what's going on here, and they're trying to move straight towards that. Only half HP on the boss. They need to retreat. They cannot possibly fight this with Gamers2 already moving in. Here comes the jump, but Shaihu gets stunned immediately. Once, twice, gets healed. 16 versus 16 in talents. The double blood for blood. Here comes the Maw against ETC again, isolating him. But he has so many hit points, and of course, especially with a stone skin, he's extremely tanky.
Yeah, keeping them alive. That stage dive could have really, really backfired. The way they were positioned and nobody was hit, and they knew it was coming in anyway. Positioned in that shroud, but in the end, they are able to keep their entire lineup alive, and they're actually going for boss themselves whilst that hard camp's being taken. But here comes LDLC.
And they took the Bruiser camp. They took the Bruiser camp, and now they have Kilachino there with a potential Oracle. They see what's going on, and Yoba is already extremely low. He lost a lot of hit points there. They cannot fight with him right now. They need to wait until he has more HP, and yeah, Rhaegar needs to heal him up as fast as he can. Once again, Shaihu is in the mid there. They're trying to isolate him. Oh, they lock him down, and that just really comes too late. Kilachino drops out, actually. They play without Tassadar here, but they got the kill before that. And Kilachino is back, but it's very unsettling to see that he has so much trouble with his connection right now.
Yeah, but at least they're able to pick up the kill and make sure that Gamers2 are not able to continue on and pursue. That's the 3 coins that they need for this next turn, and that's going to be a keep. With the hard camp pushing at the top as well, ADRD is going to have to clean that up. And then from there on out, I mean, that middle lane, once it starts pushing on in, it gives LDLC huge map presence and map dominance.
Yeah, 4 kills against 0 in this game. Level 17 versus soon to be 18 once that keep is destroyed. Level 20 talents are of course going to be extremely important. The keep is going to fall up here at the top. The keep is going to suffer probably at least a bit of damage. They're going to take the entire wall down. And right now we have LDLC just moving through the entire right side of the map, taking additional camps, and I guess they're going to try for the boss again very soon.
Yeah, they could actually go for a turn-in here, but this is actually the perfect opportunity for Gamers2 to threaten the boss, because there is the potential for another turn-in.
There's a potential to take down ETC. They get the stun, but he's too far away. So they just take everything down in mid lane. That camp that was claimed earlier. The boss is currently being attacked by Gamers2, but that means that the turn-in will not be contested, and this turn-in is going to eliminate the second keep.
Yeah. And they can deny the boss from actually getting a keep themselves, so I think this is a really good trade for LDLC. Just base, defend against the boss, unless they're actually going to push fully with it, but this also gives Gamers2 an opportunity to collect some coins on their side of the map, which will help them out a lot. Maybe get hard camp at the bottom as well, so that can push on.
Yeah, but that boss is being attacked so early by 5 heroes. I mean, what is he really going to be able to achieve? He can just like push them into position here. I guess like focusing them to the top or like forcing them to defend is the only thing they can really do. But do they really want to fight?
Maybe. Gamers2 is looking for the engagement here. The boss is about to go down. There's the stage dive in. The Maw gets nothing off of this.
Yeah, and here comes T-Duck on the other hand with a Storm Shield that he got, and suddenly they have to move back. Although Storm Shield, but the Divine Shield, of course, Storm Shield only available at 20. We might see that being picked up, by the way. But at the same time, Gamers2 realizing that that did not do anything for them and moved back. They also lost the first few hit points on the keep down to the bot lane. So this is the last one that they have. Another turn-in is going to put them in a position where all 3 lanes are pushing against them.
Yeah, tough times now for Gamers2, who are really up against it in this winners bracket final, and going for a turn in that will be able to bring them down a little bit extra parts of this wall. Maybe not a full keep here, but trying to rotate round to the hard camp. And I have to assume LDLC know that that's the next target, it being so close to that turn in position.
Yeah, but they don't really have to go for it. They just wait for level 20 and then they can do whatever they want. They can just try to wait for the next few chests and use those. 20 versus 19. We have, oh god, that rewind alone on Muradin is scary with the double stun that is now incoming. A double Bolt of the Storm to make Zagara and also Kerrigan, of course, even more mobile and flexible, able to jump away from Illidan if they have to. We're having Redemption on Uther, and Tazada, Twilight Archon, probably going to be the choice for him, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. And they're going to try and push down this bottom lane as well. This is the only lane that LDLC really needs to have a good grasp on, as that keep is still not down yet. The hard camp is going to be pushing up at the top. ETC is obviously up there as well, trying to make the best of it, push that out as hard as he possibly can. And at the same time, setting up the defense, getting ready to deal with the tide of aggression that's going to be coming here from LDLC.
Yeah, they're going to start to steal the camp here. It is known already thanks to the reveal. At the same time, though, I don't think that they're really going to go for the keep now. They don't really have to. I think they're going to play the objective game right now, playing it safe. It's 20 versus 20 at this point, and that puts the extra talents also in the hands of Gamers2. And that means we're having a hardened shield on ETC, which makes him incredibly tanky. The Storm Shield on Rhaegar, with the advanced in the Lava Strike on Sergeant Hammer, which is actually like pretty interesting. Oftentimes we see Nexus Frenzy taken, but the extra range on Napalm is amazing for the hero as well, especially if you just like move in and poke a little bit every now and then it's the best talent you can possibly get at 20. Bolt of the Storm probably also coming in from for Vala. So far she hasn't taken it yet. Could also go for Nexus Frenzy instead, but we have at least Bolt of the Storm for a minute.
There could be a fight very, very soon if they're looking to just push them away from this turn-in. But Gamers2 not willing to step a little bit further here, making sure they're going to play it very calm. But are they going to try and set up? Oh, okay, the ping was on there, and they do try to go for the reveal just in case there was some bait in that shroud, but apparently that's not the case.
Yeah, and both of them are really just going for the setup here. The next team who takes a turn in, the next team who actually wins a big fight has the potential to finish the game. If it's Gamers2, they have to go through a keep. It depends a lot on how many heroes they're able to take down if they win the fight at all. But of course, with 2 keeps already annihilated, if LDLC wins another battle here, they're going to go straight for core.
Not that many coins just yet here for LDLC, but there come the chests. So going to take the top one guaranteed, bottom one will go over to Gamers2. But if they die during all of this, then it's going to be absolutely disastrous. They will drop so many coins. Look at ADRD setting up a minefield in this shroud. It's cute little move. They will actually take a lot of damage from that if they walk in.
Yeah, we have, by the way, 10 coins on Black Scorp alone, and they're already trying to position themselves here. ADRD's skill on 20 does so much. The advanced Lava Strike is great for this poke, and always trying to interrupt the turn, and this is absolutely amazing. At this point, LDLC is a bit on the clock. They either have to engage or move back. Taking this much damage is something they can't really do.
And those mines have been revealed down that shroud. Here comes the stage dive in. Will they be able to do too much? Earthgrass Toastin did land on some of these members. Shaihu is in the thick of things. T-Darker they're trying to bring him down, but he's not really going to fall at all. He's not taking that much damage. ADRD with the Ancestral Healing is able to keep him alive.
And they go for the stun once again, but suddenly LDLC is getting really low, but that maul was great, and they drop Shaihu. This is amazing. ADRD is about to die. 2 heroes down, and they just go straight for Yo as well. T-Darker is being kept alive. Illidan is trying to escape here, but he's being locked down completely. 8 coins are just gone, and with 5 heroes on the map, LDLC will be able to finish.
Oh, amazing stuff from them all the way through this series and coming into this playoffs in a bit of an unstable state, looking to just push down the core. Leo from Korea and Nika have nothing to say about it. He gets stunned, he goes down, Rhaegar is dead, and Nika will be next to fall if he goes anywhere closer.
After an amazing performance yesterday against SK, they do it again against Gamers2. It is absolutely impressive. Kerrigan goes down, but there is nothing that Gamers2 can do about the outcome of this game. Game number 5 ending in favor of LDLC. They take the winner bracket final, they take the best of 5 and bring down Gamers2.
LDLC, they do it again. They are back in action with a great victory against Gamers2. And that was just amazing. This entire winner bracket here at the ESL Major League Playoffs was incredible. Not only the series that we saw on the first day with Gamers2 and Fnatic with a 3-2 victory for the Polish team, but now today another series that goes the full way. And this time Gamers2 not able to take it. LDLC just showing their power here, winning it with a 3-2, an amazing performance by them today. And we saw some incredible maps, especially Sky Temple, mind-blowing performance here by Gamers2. But then again, at the end of the day, it is the Spanish team that is victorious in the series. So they advanced to the grand final. Congratulations to them, and we saw an epic series. It was a pleasure casting that for you. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up on YouTube and comment in the comment section if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and we'll make sure to get more games for you in Heroes of the Storm onto the channel in the near future. Have a great day. Bye bye.